Hey guys, midweek energy update, and we got a lot to talk about as we continue to make our way through this full moon energy. Remember, we had a full moon in Cancer that took place on Monday, January 13th, so things are really kind of just like lit out there anyways, because the full moon is the energetic high point each month. So we've got that that we're moving through, but we also have a lot of volatility, explosive, eruptive energy present today. We actually have Mars and the Sun in an exact opposition. Uranus is featured two ways, trying the Sun, squaring the Moon. We also have the North Node and Neptune in a conjunction in the sign of Pisces. To me, you guys, honestly, this, if we boil it all down, looks like a recipe for action or events or anger or confrontation as a catalyst for some type of necessary endings. Things need to come to an end on some level right now, and this could be energy that is activating that breakdown phase somehow through whatever it is that we're interfacing with. But there is a very confrontational, dynamic, eruptive, explosive, heated, meltdown, spiral oriented energy going on out there. So that's just what we're dealing with, and it could be manifesting a whole bunch of different ways, and we need to talk about it. So let's get into our report of the day, you guys. Let's talk about specifically all that we've got going on, how it is all integrating itself together, and what perhaps we may be interfacing with as we move through the week and towards the weekend. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Wednesday, January 15th, 2025. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. And if you guys stick with me until the end of this report, I have done a collective tarot reading for us today as well. I like to tap the energy field from more than one modality whenever I'm doing these energy overviews, just to get an alternative energetic perspective on what's going on out there. So there could be some messages in there for you. We will do that at the end. And the tarot reading for today, I just want to say, right up front, was pretty unique. We actually had 7 major arcana cards come out, which is unheard of for these little tarot readings for me that I do at the end of these videos. And I think this is indicating, and we'll of course talk more about it as we get to the end of the video, but I just think we are in some times of greater than average significance. I think that the events that are taking place right now, regardless of how honestly like destructive or gruesome or just volatile they may appear on the surface, or they may actually just be in the way that they're playing out, there is some greater significance behind it. And I'm telling you guys, at least to me, the way that this energy is coming together, it's all feeding into each other. And with the nodes having just transited back into the sign of Pisces, and the North Node now coming into a conjunction with Neptune in Pisces, I feel like all of this, the confrontation, the challenge, like both the meltdowns and like the very embroiled stuff that could be going on, the explosions and the meltdowns, I think that they're both pushing for something to end. They're pushing for culminations, they're pushing for conclusion, they're pushing for release from things as well. The Uranian influence here is just very significant also. We have symbolism coming through today, you guys, that is like another thing that is just indicating the more eruptive, explosive, volatile, perhaps even like violent, ruthless, revengeful, even like energy that could be going on out there. And although this is not my favorite report to do, this is not my favorite energy to talk about, I'm recording this video right now on January 10th, so I have no idea what's gonna transpire between now and the 15th when this comes out, but it just feels like some event personally on a more collective level that is functioning as a catalyst for some type of necessary change. Now, let me tell you, I guess I'll just tell you the astrology associated with everything that I'm saying, and then we will get into my more in-depth description of all of this. But I would tread lightly out there this week. It's just a very like, it makes me think of like a laser maze, you know what I mean? Like, gotta be very careful, like stepping over things and just like maneuvering environments and stuff so you don't get zapped. Could be like that. But also, I do think that there are just going to be things happening. There's just going to be circumstances and events and situations probably that are unfolding around us that we find ourselves in the midst in, and we really have no choice other than to respond. A lot of people are going to be responding emotionally. A lot of people are going to be responding in a very like triggered manner. People are probably going to be losing their temper, losing their cool. And again, like, and maybe, you know, really snapping, standing up, like fighting back, you know. But I do think that the outcome of most of this is going to be the end of something. We have Mars and the Sun coming to exact opposition with each other in the energy of Wednesday, while we also have the Moon transiting Leo, which is ruled by the Sun, okay? It's all of this energy that I'm going to be talking about today, all of these big transits that we have popping off are feeding into one another in ways that you wouldn't necessarily even perceive just from like, because there's different transits and aspects going on, but because of like the planetary rulership of the signs that these planets are transiting through, they're like indicating other planets that are in the mix today as well. And I really do think it's like all boiling down to this like big interwoven planetary mass of like energy feeding off of itself, having to do with Mars, the Sun, Uranus, Neptune, and the Moon. So those 5 planets just like all, you know, embroiled with one another essentially is what this is all boiling down to. And we have trines going on, we have oppositions going on. There's a free flow of energy in a way that is quite unrestrained, but with the opposition, it's also like these fierce clashes of wills, power struggles, who's going to dominate. And we've got an authority and a subordinate energy as well that are like up against one another. And it also is translating honestly into like the individual versus like the corporation or like the machine or the like the system, okay? Because this opposition between Mars and the Sun is happening in Capricorn and Cancer. Capricorn, this is a sign that has to do with established orders of power and control, and Cancer is ruled by the Moon. This has to do with the public and the people and the collective emotional energy. Okay, so we've got an exact opposition playing out between the Sun in Capricorn, Mars in the sign of Cancer. Those energies are both being trined or fed by, as I said, we've got the Moon transiting Leo, ruled by the Sun, forming a square to Uranus and Taurus. The Sun in Capricorn is also forming an Earth sign trine with Uranus and Taurus, which was a primary feature of our full moon chart on Monday and was exact in the energy of Monday. So we've got Uranus featured 2 ways aspected by both luminaries. That's telling us we've got a very powerful Uranian influence out there. Shocks, surprises, things happening out of nowhere. Expect the unexpected, electricity in the air, anxiety quite high, sudden awakening, sudden impulse, sudden epiphany, flash of insight coming out of nowhere, having to react very quickly to things. This can also be quite jarring, it can like make people act quite recklessly, and it's probably just going to be creating a bit of an unstable energetic environment out there. We also have Mars in a trine to Neptune and the north node of the moon now in the sign of Pisces in a conjunction to Neptune and in a trine to Mars. That makes me think that whatever this opposition is bringing to us, whatever the Mars Sun like confrontational energy is like stirring up, kicking up, it's facilitating. We've got this trine going on. This is universe assisting, and it is universe assisting because we're talking about the north node now. We're talking about the destiny point. Pisces, Neptune, this is endings. This is things being washed away. This is the erosion. This is the dissipation. This is like the flow on the way out, okay? And that's what I'm saying. When we just like get to the bottom of all of this, it seems like the Sun and Mars in an opposition. things coming to a head, okay, with the Uranian influence, the moon in Leo, ruled by the sun, throwing it back into the sun, which is in the square with Uranus, which is also in a trine to Uranus. These confrontations could be happening very unexpectedly. Like we could be randomly put in a position where we, that we didn't think was coming or something like that. Or it could be like the rug being pulled out from under your feet in a way that you weren't prepared for or something like that. But with the opposition to Mars, like this is not, we're not going to be like taking it sitting down or whatever that saying is. Like people are going to be pissed. Like I'm saying people because we're talking about Mars. That's the energy that represents the common man, and we're talking about Mars in the sign of Cancer. Again, that is the collective energy that rules the public, that rules the people, that rules the emotional consensus essentially that's going on out there. And with the sun in the sign of Capricorn, it's the rules, it's the regulations, it's the restriction, it's the control system, it's the established like way of doing things, it's the authority, it's the boss, it's the career also that could be disrupting. The work home life balance could be caught in the mix of all of this. But with the trine to Neptune, also Mars retrograding right now. Mars retrograding is action taken to fix things that have gotten off the path, where we've made a wrong turn here or there, or we veered off course. This is like corrective action needing to take place to like, make up for whatever that was. And with the trine to Neptune in Pisces, and the North Node now in the sign of Pisces coming into that conjunction, it's about the end of something. With the North Node in the sign of Pisces, we will talk more and more about this as we now move through this energy, because we're going to have it over the next year and a half, but this will be a year and a half period where one of the major ways that this manifests is in terms of necessary endings. Things are going to be changing drastically over the next year and a half, and we're going to be like closing the door on things, ending chapters. Like this will be a period of time of letting go. And it may be a process, like the process of letting go may be something that plays itself out over this period of time, but that is one way that this energy will manifest. A fated release, okay? Fated exit, like it's the destined point of no return, sort of, in terms of something. And again, the North Node in Pisces will manifest in many different ways. This is just one of the themes that will be present, but I do think it will be present, and it will, again, be a very, very transitional period of time where we are kind of reestablishing ourselves in our lives and redefining actually our lifestyles, our behaviors, our habits, our patterns. The way that we do life on a day-to-day like basis generally is really going to be changing over this next year and a half, and there's fated endings that are associated with that. And the things that we could be finding ourselves embroiled in, the fights, the battles, the contests, the confrontations, like the debates, the arguments, like whatever it is, or even just the passion, like the motivation that we feel inspired to pursue right now. It is about ultimately bringing us towards some type of necessary ending in some type of way. So that's why I'm saying, even the more destructive influences that may, or events or situations that may be occurring right now, even though perhaps we just do not understand it or see the purpose for it in the moment on a higher level, that's the way it's got to go. Like there's something about, again, like even if things of a more like violent or destructive or eruptive or explosive nature happening, it's like that's for whatever reason the force that was necessary to break through that, or to, I don't know, to take that down in the way that it needed to, in order so that whatever's meant to come next, whatever needs to grow, whatever needs to come through can do so. So I don't know. I guess that's my preface to my report today, you guys. The energy is just crazy out there. I've been saying that we are in strange times. We're on a wild ride this week for sure, I feel like. Of course, we're in the full moon energy. Full moon energy is the peak energy each month. So we've got that going on as well. Of course, full moon energy is also associated with emotional energy, and a full moon in Cancer is about the most emotional energy like full moon that we can have. So we've got a very sensitive, very touchy, very reactive, very passionate, very driven full moon energy playing out this week, and it is being inflamed even more by the Mars Sun opposition that we now have playing out as well. Okay, abrupt endings, things just literally being blown to smithereens. I wouldn't be surprised either way. Feels like potentially violent clashes or confrontations coming through. Storms of a destructive nature could be something that we're dealing with once again this week as well. This could also be bringing up things and themes pertaining to those just horribly devastating wildfires that we had take place last week. But man versus machine, as I was saying earlier, like the individual versus the establishment, the common man versus the powers that be, like that is the nature of this confrontational energy taking place between Mars and the Sun. Mars is anger, courage, motivation, and passion. Mars in Cancer, this is the people fighting back. The Sun in Capricorn, this is government, authority, establishment, big business, big industry of any kind. And it just seems like it's been like one step too far, you know, like cross the line one too many times, and the people or the individual are just not having it anymore. I think a lot of people might be like walking off the job or like quitting or just, you know, throwing in the towel somehow. Again, like it's some type of emotional reaction, I think, that is perhaps unexpected, but leads to some type of necessary ending or conclusion of something somehow. Now, we need to talk about symbolism for a minute, you guys. I think that I should state the symbolism that is happening alongside some of these aspects today, just so that you can get a better idea of what we're dealing with, how some of this might come together. The position actually of the Mars-Earth conjunction that are going on, because the Earth is always astrologically in exact opposition to the Sun. So whenever we've got the Sun at any degree, the Earth is in the polarity point to that. And so whenever we've got a planet that is exactly opposing the Sun, it's always going to be making a conjunction to our symbolic reference to the Earth. When we've got Mars there, that's telling us also it's like Earth on fire. And I honestly hate to even say that because of everything that we've just been through over this past week with those just like horrible, horrible fires that took place in California. But and like literally, like I said, like I'm recording this on the 10th, so that is very like relevant in this moment as I'm recording it. So it could be things related to that actually carrying over to the future, that are again like getting embroiled somehow. And I keep using that word embroiled, but it's just like feels so fitting because we've got this water, this hot water energy, and it's being just like electrified by the double Uranus flow out there as well. But so yeah, it could be pertaining to that, but it just, and with the Earth sign trine happening also between the Sun in Capricorn and Uranus and Taurus, that is like things physically happening on the ground in the 3D. So, and then, okay, I'm just going to say the symbolism. I'm looking at 4 primary symbols today that I feel like are quite backing up the way that this energy is coming together. Number 1, the position of, like I said, Mars and the Earth in their conjunction today at 27 degrees of the sign of Cancer. That Sabian symbol is a violent storm in a canyon filled with expensive homes. We also have Pluto right now at 2 degrees of the sign of Aquarius, an unexpected thunderstorm. We also have Uranus right now at 24 degrees of Taurus. Uranus is another big player today. That Sabian symbol is an Indian warrior riding fiercely, human scalps hanging from his belt. And we've got Jupiter at 12 Gemini, a slave girl demands her rights of her mistress. So, yeah, those Sabian symbols, especially like literally the position of Mars and the Earth, 27 degrees of Cancer, where the opposition is taking place from the Sun today. What is it? violent storm in a canyon filled with expensive homes. Like, that feels pretty close to on par with the general vibes that are coming through. Now, you could take that as a metaphor, or you could take that, you know, as something literal. Like, that's what I'm saying, especially with both Mars and Pluto at degrees that are specifically referencing storms. And with Pluto, the unexpected thunderstorm, the unexpected nature of things with Uranus two ways, that's what Uranus brings. And with Mars talking about like the violent nature of the storm, and then Uranus also at that extremely ruthless degree about the Indian warrior riding fiercely, human scalps, you know, just that whole situation. It could be just like anger or some type of like brutal acts or just something like that that is pushing towards these endings. Things to do also with sparks or voltage or lightning, heat, firestorms, rebellion, being out for blood somehow, vengeance. Like, these could also be themes here. Bottom line, some type of action likely to be a catalyst for some type of ending. Things definitely getting stirred up out there today. I would try to lay low if possible, be as disciplined as you can be in your emotional responses to things. That could help. But again, like, a lot of this stuff, because of the Uranian nature of things, like, it could just be coming out of nowhere and putting us in a position where we have to react. And we could, like, the nature of the emotion that we're reacting to could be just very, like, you know, like a trigger, like anger, you know, or passion or something along those lines. Okay, so there's that. Now, I will say, on the flip side of that, simultaneously, Mars in trine to Neptune, we've talked about this, in previous videos and videos of last week. This is also an energy that can entice and inspire altruism and charity and compassion and like just wanting to be of service. Like, this is a very, it can also, in the higher octave of expressions of this energy, be a very selfless energy. There could be sort of like a collective sentiment also towards, with Mars being in the sign again of Cancer, it could be like a common like desire or drive to be just more helpful, more charitable, more altruistic, more spiritually motivated to rescue, to save in this energy. There could be some large public like philanthropic or charity type of effort that goes on, people coming together to help suffering in some way maybe that we've never seen. So if, again, and I said this in my video of last week, they came out like along with those fires, like if, because of the Sun Chiron square that we had going on as well. So there was really a lot of astrology indicating some type of like collective crisis or trauma event that could have happened last week. Now, I don't know if that's still the same thing that's playing into the energy of this week, but if there is some type of just like, you know, big event that goes on or something that impacts a lot of people and creates, you know, suffering on some level, there's also going to be, like I said, like a response like we've never seen, like in and of just the people coming together to like fix it somehow, to like really in a very selfless way, like putting their energy together to just serve a higher good. Very spiritually driven energy, where we can get ourselves out of the way and just like work for that, towards that remedy and towards that healing in the higher octaves of this energy as well. A shocking loyalty to home, family, and community, and a willingness to like lay ourselves on the ground or lay it all down in order to like serve that higher purpose. Okay, so there could be something going on with that. Men specifically, because we're talking about the Martian energy, but really this is the divine masculine energy existing with all of us, inspired to defend and protect the home, the family, the homeland, what we love, what we hold dear. And that's another reason why this is like, you know, crossing the red line type of energy. It's like whatever, or crossing boundaries. It's like people are feeling so infringed upon in some type of a way that they are like willing to fight to defend and protect what's theirs, especially with the moon coming through Leo, which is also a very fired up, passionate, inspired, motivated, like courageous. I'm gonna stand my ground. I'm going to defend what I love. I'm going to defend my loyalties type of energy. So that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like the emotional energy here is just on fire because we literally have the moon in the sign of the sun, the sign of Leo. That is a fiery emotional energy. And then we've got Mars, the fire planet, in the sign of the moon, in the opposition to the sun, ruling the position of the moon. Do you guys see how those dots are connected and how, as I said, these energies are all like integrated and interwoven with one another in ways that really are just amplifying what the individual transits speak of, like in and of their own regard? Okay, like this is some very intense emotional energy. Okay, and when we add the Uranian influence, meltdowns, I do think, are just something that we could be seeing. And that word meltdown, I don't know if there could be something like extra significant about it, but it is very like picturesque of the way this energy is coming together. So in all of the forms, any way that you could apply that, it could be something that we see play out during this period of time as well. This could also indicate things having to do with oil, travel by water, you know, like ships and stuff like that. Also illness and viruses, and the spread of things can happen when we're dealing with strong Piscean Neptunian energy and the trine to Mars. Mars can cause things to spread. Pisces, Neptune, this can be just like illnesses. And also with Mars and the trine to Neptune, this is another thing I've been saying and we should keep in mind. This is not an energy that really supports like our physical vitality. Okay, so you want to be careful that you're taking good care of your body, during your physical body during this period of time, and that you are not allowing yourself to get drained to the point of getting sick, because we can just be more physically vulnerable to things when we've got this type of energy going on. And that is an angle of the way this energy could manifest. There could be like some type of illness that is spreading as we move through this period of time as well. But water, fire, electricity, and earth, and the combination of those things, a lot of ways it could go. I don't know, but it's very dynamic, and it seems like things again are reaching this boiling point. Again, you know, this could have to do also with conflict going on within the home and family. Whenever we've got Mars in the sign of Cancer and just like all these aspects going on, like that could be a dimension of things as well. There could be just like within the home, within the family, within the community, people could just be exhibiting like shorter tempers and more anger. There could be some fights or conflicts going on along those lines as well, for sure. And again, people are going to be hyper emotionally reactive in ways that could be uncontrollable. Also, another thing, be very careful with like drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. I think, and I'm just gonna say it because that's what I'm doing in this video today, apparently, thing like ODing, there's a way greater like likelihood for overdosing on drugs, overdosing on alcohol, or just, you know, things go in a bad direction in relation to those things, especially right now. But it could be kind of just like a general theme actually that we're moving through over this next year or so. Well, we've also got the North Node transiting the sign of Pisces, and we're going through this very transitional phase right now, and a lot of things are breaking down, and a lot of things are really weird, and a lot of things are unpredictable, and a lot of people are losing it. And you know, our bearings, a lot of people's bearings in reality, you know, like what they use to stabilize themselves, like the rock, you know, the ground that we're standing on, like what gave us, again, just like the paradigm that we've been operating in that maintained the sanity to some extent, when that begins to break down, and it is going to, because that's what's happening right now on the greater levels. Remember, we are going through a shift of ages. Don't forget, you guys, way back, well, I say way back, but I actually mean like 2 weeks ago when I put out my new moon or my new year January 1st video where I talked about the themes that I felt like were going to be very relevant throughout the course of this entire year. I was saying that I think this 2025 year is going to represent a major transition and shift in power dynamics from centralized models of power to decentralized models of power. And as a result of that, a lot of the ways that things have been done, and again, like that established order that we have collectively been taught to comply with and to operate within as our reality, you know, historically or over the past, especially 20 years, but up until this point in time, for sure, the life essentially that we've been accustomed to and the rules that have defined it are going to begin to break down. And it's not only that, like, the emergence of new truths is going to begin to kind of like snowball over this period of time as well, which is going to be another dimension of just like the strangeness that goes on right now that makes it impossible to continue interfacing with life and reality in the way that we have it. Again, that is going to make people very vulnerable to like losing it as well. It's probably going to be a bit of a rough shift. A lot of people are going to be struggling, which is one reason, again, why I'm saying be careful with the substances, you guys, as we move through this period of time. And if you know people with suicidal tendencies, you know people who have issues with controlling or regulating that type of stuff, or just like to seek escape through those means, keep a close eye on them, okay? Because this is just what we're dealing with, and that's the only reason why I'm saying it, because honestly, I would rather not talk about any of this stuff, but this is what's being presented, and it's my duty, you guys, so here I am. Anyways, I've reached the end of my notes. Uranus 2 ways. This is a wild card. Nobody can really predict or call how things are going to go in association with perhaps these confrontations that are coming in right now. Again, like, the future is quite undefinable right now. We are heading down a new path again, as we have just began a new 18-year cycle of the nodes transit through the entire zodiac, which is going to play out over the next 18 years. And a lot of things have to change in order so that we can like go through this new process and get on this new path. And that's what this next, I think, year and a half is largely going to be about. The breakdown of the old reality, the old thought patterns, the old ways that we did things, and the emergence of something radically new and different that is to come after that. So that's what I have to say, you guys, about the astrology for today. Let's talk about the tarot for a minute. As I mentioned in the beginning, we've got quite a card spread that came out today. We got a ton of cards, and the majority of them are major arcana. Now, one thing that I feel like is very clearly being conveyed in the way that this tarot reading is coming together today is that we need to maintain our faith. There's a divine rebalancing underway. Like, God, Great Spirit, universe, higher power really is behind the wheel, or like pulling the strings in this case. There's a karmic clearing underway, and our ability to maintain faith in a positive outcome, even if we can absolutely not see how this is going or where this is going, or even if, you know, we feel like we don't have the strength to persevere and overcome and to keep going, we do. And we just need to keep at it. We need to not give up. We need to like keep our eye on the prize. We may feel honestly like totally defeated at this point in time, like the wounded warrior, like we've got like nothing left to give. But I don't know, the way that this spread is coming out, it's indicating to me the completion of a cycle, the beginning of a path to building something brand new that is actually in alignment with that which would bring us fulfillment on a like heart and soul type of level. We may not feel like we have the strength to continue on, but I mean, really, at the end of the day, the choice is ours, whether we want to accept defeat or whether we want to live to fight another day. I do feel like this is talking about the point of no return and the need to move on in a new direction, as I've been saying the entire video. We have the 10 of Swords coming out in between the 2 of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is about a slow, steady build, one foot in front of the other. It may not be fast, but it is meticulous, it is steady, it is sturdy, and it is leading us to something rewarding. Okay, let's talk about the rest of these cards that we had coming out. Look at these. All right, we had the Star card, we had the Judgment card, we had the World in the middle of those, we had the Temperance card, the Hierophant, and on the back of the deck we had the Empress card, the Strength card in reverse, and the Nine of Wands. Okay, these three cards on the back of the deck, the Empress, the Strength in reverse, and the Nine of Wands, in the context of these three cards that came out first, with the Two of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles, we are in a process, we are moving towards an energy that is supportive of us creating, again, like that which is a representation of true fulfillment, Empress, on a heart and soul based level. Okay, Strength in reverse with the nine. This is the Nine of Wands. This is the Wounded Warrior card. This is about, you know, the battered, the bruised, but his eyes are still to the sky. Okay, like he's still looking up, like he has been through it, but he's not going to give up, and he's going to keep going. Even if he feels like he has no more strength, he's going to pursue that ultimate goal. And with the Two of Swords, that's a blind choice. That's not knowing what to do. That's not like being able to see the outcome and feeling caught in between. And what are we caught in between? What are we caught in the middle of? The Ten of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. Utter defeat, the end of something, the like final moment, the ultimate conclusion, okay? And the point of no return, and where we're going, what we're building, putting that one foot in front of the other and moving towards that Empress energy, okay? That which is that representation, this birthing process, okay? Like what are we birthing next? And then you guys, with this, all of these cards coming out, the Star, the Judgment, the World, Temperance, and the Hierophant, okay? As like our background energy, this is telling me like, no, like this is divinely oriented, okay? Like this is for a higher purpose. Like even that Ten of Swords, right? Like even that utter defeat, like even what is stick a fork in me done, like even the total destruction or whatever it is, the downfall of something, it's, I mean, we got the Hierophant card here. We've got the World, Temperance, the Judgment card, the Star. Like it's for some higher fated purpose that is leading to some path of growth, okay? The birth of something new with the Empress. The Star card is about maintaining our faith in that bigger vision, even if we can't see the outcome. The Judgment card is about breaking karmic cycles and a karmic sort of almost a rebirth as a result of that. Of course, the World card, this is the end of a cycle, all right? Temperance, balancing things out. This is the hand of God also, like reaching in there and making sure that things are going according to just this like higher plan that is also being represented by the Hierophant coming through here also. We have divine support, okay? So even if we feel, or even if a lot of situations are resonating to that Ten of Swords energy, or we feel very caught in between, or it seems like we're in a situation where something is done, something has, you know, passed on, or something is just going through a phase of destruction, and on the other side of that, you know, we feel like there's maybe some big effort or colossal effort or just a slow gradual process of growth, and we can't, with the Two of Swords in the middle, like we can't see where that growth is going, like what that horse is walking to, where that like horse is taking us, you know what I mean? I'm saying horse because in the card it's the guy on the horse, the knight, but it could be anything, you know, like where that path is taking us, or like what is going to be required to get there. But honestly, you guys, like with the Empress coming through like that and all of these cards, and it's so funny, like it's so ironic really that like I was very shocked speaking of Uranian energy, when all those cards came out like that. because I actually had just shuffled my deck, like really given it a good shuffle for the first time in months. Like I'm talking probably like 6 months or something. Like I shuffled, like I, you know, did multiple shuffles, like shuffled the heck out of that deck. And it was weird because I don't obviously usually shuffle it that well. I usually just like, you know, do my normal card shuffle, and it's great because it doesn't really matter to me to be that shuffled because I know whatever card is going to come out is meant to come out anyways. But I, like, for whatever reason, first thing I did today when I grabbed that deck was give it a real good shuffle. And then actually when I was doing my shuffle to get for the cards to come out for the reading, I wasn't even, like the cards were coming out really weird and a bunch of them came out obviously, and I was like, this isn't, I just need to like stop right now and redo the shuffle because this is just going to be chaotic, and it's going to be, there's too many cards, and it's not going to, like, it's going to be too hard for me to like delineate in a reasonable period of time. So I just need to reshuffle. And then actually when I saw the cards, I was like, oh no, I do not need to reshuffle. I need to stop right now and take these cards. Like this is a very meaningful reading. So maybe it was meaningful to some of you out there as well, but yeah, I feel like that is one of very powerful tarot reading, one of the most powerful tarot readings I've probably seen come out for us collectively since I started doing these readings on this channel. So I don't know, you guys, I feel like we're in powerful times. I feel like, again, there's a very divinely oriented influence that is, you know, very interwoven in a lot of the stuff that's going on right now. Two of Swords, we may not see what any of this is about, but you know, we've got a choice between the end and the beginning. What we've got to let go of and is just ran its course, and what we are in a process of building, developing, and moving towards now. So that's that, you guys. I don't know, it remains to be seen. Strange times, like I said, very strange times with all this Uranian energy going on this week. We're gonna get one more card. God, Spirit, Universe, please give us some advice. Please let us get an affirmation or something that we can use as we move through this week. What should we know? What should we keep in mind? What would be helpful, beneficial guidance to us? We have a card that says, go within for peace. Pursue peace with all people and holiness, without which no one will see the Lord. Hebrews 12:14. When discord or disharmony is raging around you, go within yourself and be thankful for the grace of God within you. Say, thank you for restoring peace to my life. Smile, bless all, and continue to your goal. Honestly, like, that is probably about the most perfect card that we could have gotten in the terms of the nature of the way that this energy is happening today, and the fact that our internal environment is where the disruption is most likely to be stemming from. Again, though, this is reminding us of these higher octave Mars Neptunian energies. We can be a literal vessel for this divine influence, for this very spiritual energy. Like, this very much can be translated into spiritual warrior energy, and that may be one of the memos that is associated with this message that we have as well. Discard or disharmony when it's raging around you, go within for peace and be thankful for the grace of God within you. So I guess that's probably some of the best advice that we could get, the way the energy is playing itself out there today. And that's what I have to say, you guys. So message from the stars, a message from the cards. I hope that this was meaningful to you in some way, and if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you guys. I really would appreciate that. It helps my channel grow so much when you guys hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for being here, though, regardless. And please tell your friends, share it with your friends if you think that they would like this type of astrology content as well. Leave me comments, you guys. Also, so grateful for your presence here. Again, like I said, if you're having situations play out in your life that reflect what I'm talking about in this video or in any of my other videos, please drop me a comment. Let me know in my comment section below. If you want to know what is on this whiteboard, I have a Facebook group linked in my description box below where you can find images of these boards that I post over there. And if you want to know where I got this bracelet, I got it from Otter Spirit, which is a jewelry company that I have been working with. This is actually one of the bracelets that came out of that holiday pack that I was telling you guys about not too long ago that I got. It's Howlite. I stay calm in stressful situations. Otter Spirit is a really awesome gemstone jewelry company out of California. They donate proceeds to save the wild sea otters out there. That's where the name comes from. But I've been working with them, and if you are in the market for some just like really beautiful and also functional jewelry, check them out. Link in my description box below. It's a great way to support my channel if you order from the link that is down there also. And that's everything I have to say today, you guys. Come back with me on Friday. We're gonna have our weekend energy update, get back into it, talk about what we've got coming at us this weekend. So I'll be back to do that. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I will see you next time, everyone. Have do your best out there as we move through the midpoint of the week this week. And until next time, bye guys.